Hello everybody and welcome. Today we're going to be looking at Friends Season 1, Episode 5, the one with the East German laundry detergent. And if you're new to these videos, then hello, my name is Scott, and basically I'm just going to be looking at all of the pop culture references that pop up throughout the episode, because I feel that when you hear a reference and you don't actually quite understand what was being said, you just sort of nod and laugh and just let it go by, and eventually you'll watch the episode again, you'll hear the joke again, and it just gets ingrained as oh, this is the moment where I just go, haha. But I don't know why. And so these videos are hopefully just trying to shine a light on them and go, that's what it means. Now I get it. Now I understand it's a lot more of a funnier joke, or actually it's not that funny at all. Now I get the context. But anyway, at least you'll get the context. And once we're done with the pop culture references, then I'll go over a little bit of select trivia and then give my review on the episode at the end. And as you're watching, don't forget that the comment section is open down below, so any pop culture references that pop up that you did know, feel free to tap away. But any that you didn't know and you've just learnt about for the first time, oh my gosh, thank you for this. Had no idea. Enter. And if you're enjoying the video, why not give it a little like and also maybe just a little subscribe as well, so that you don't miss out on any future videos that come out, whether it be Friends, whether it be other shows that I'm covering on the channel as well. So I think that's enough for the intro. Let's head to New York, shall we? So we finally get to meet Janice, and she has bought some presents for Chandler.
I got you these.
Bullwinkle socks. That's so sweet.
Well, I knew you had the Rockies, and so I figured, you could wear Bullwinkle and Bullwinkle, or you could wear Rocky and Rocky, or you can mix and match Moose and Squirrel.
So that's Bullwinkle and Chandler's socks, and his full name is Bullwinkle J. Moose. And you may have guessed from his look and his name that he is, in fact, a moose, and he makes up one half of the animated duo Rocky and Bullwinkle. And even though we don't see them, it is confirmed that Chandler has another pair of socks with Rocky on them. Full name, Rocket J. Squirrel. And I'm sure you can guess that it's a squirrel. It's in the name. I mean, it's a little bit on the nose. My last name's Westwood, and I'm not a tree, but I was born in the West Midlands. And they both get the J in their middle names from their creator, Jay Ward, who produced the show that they were in, The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends, that ran from the late 50s to the mid 60s. And the premise of the shows was following their adventures as they attempt to foil the machinations of their arch nemesis. And it was full of puns and satire and self-referential humor, and it was incredibly popular and very much loved. In fact, it was ranked as the 6th greatest cartoon of all time. And now Chandler's got the Bullwinkle socks, the duo is complete, but he better take them quick because he's just about to dump Janice, and you don't want to break up the Squirrel and Moose again. That's heartbreaking. So Rachel was doing laundry, big achievement for her, but unfortunately it kind of went wrong.
I'm sorry, please don't be upset. It could happen to anyone, Rach.
But it didn't. It happened to me. God, I'm gonna look like a big marshmallow peep.
Peeps are a marshmallow confection from the United States, and they're soft and they're squidgy, and if you enjoy marshmallows, then you'll definitely enjoy them, but don't have too many of them because they are supposedly indestructible. They don't dissolve, you can barely burn them. In fact, if you ever watched that episode of Malcolm in the Middle when Francis was dared to eat 100, no man can eat 100 Peeps, and he does, and it's, because they're saying it's not actually going to dissolve in your stomach. That's a whole episode. That's a whole other thing for another video, maybe. They were originally only brought out in Easter, but now they're all year round, and their main design is to look like a little chick, just like that. Isn't that adorable? I mean, you wouldn't want to, well, you would want to eat it because it looks delicious, but also you wouldn't want to eat it because of how cute it is. But also I would want to eat it. And though they're usually yellow, they are found in many colors, including pink. And that right there is a pink marshmallow peep. And that is what Rachel says she will look like wearing her now unfortunately dyed pink attire whilst walking around town. But I mean, there are worse foodstuffs to look like reflected in your fashion sense. I mean, I didn't realize today, but I kind of look like a sad olive. So Joey and Monica are having dinner with a couple who Monica thinks is actually brother and sister, but regardless, Monica is telling a story.
Something went wrong with Underdog, and they couldn't get his head to inflate. So anyway, his head is like flopping down Broadway, right? And I'm just thinking how inappropriate this is.
So Underdog is from The Underdog Show, a cartoon that ran in the mid-60s, and it's about a dog who is a superhero. And the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade has been going on since the 1920s, and it is a parade that takes place on Thanksgiving, held by the employees of Macy's. And one of the staples of the parade are giant oversized balloons of popular characters such as Kermit the Frog, Bart Simpson, Felix the Cat, and of course, Underdog. And I know I haven't gone into as much detail as I usually would when talking about these subjects, but I just wanted to gloss over them so that I could get to the fact that Monica's story is in fact based on a true story. For you see, there was in fact an occasion when Underdog's head deflated and had to be removed from the parade. It happened in the 1975 parade, and I'm just going to read out some details of the event from the Macy Thanksgiving's wiki. During the 1975 parade, wind and rain caused issues with flying the balloons. Underdog experienced injuries related to a deflated right ear and hand before crashing into a lamppost in Times Square and losing his right ear and helium in his forehead, necessitating the balloon's removal. So yes, Monica's account of seeing Underdog's head flopping down Broadway would actually have happened in the 1975 parade when the helium went out his forehead and he's drooping along and he has to be pulled away. So not only are we getting a little story, we're getting a little history. The couple sitting opposite Monica are dating, but she thinks that they are brother and sister, and so it prompts this response.
Hello? Were we at the same table? It's like cocktails in Appalachia.
So Appalachia, or Appalachia, however you want to say it, I'm not getting into an argument about it right here. It's this area in the eastern United States, and it runs from the bottom of New York State through Pennsylvania into West Virginia, and also tops some of the southern states such as Georgia and Mississippi. And there's a long-standing cliche / stereotype that family members in the hills of Appalachia, how can I say this without getting this video banned? They like to engage in activities that they may wish to omit from the family newsletter. These activities would result in children who are really good at swimming because of their webbed feet. Basically, a family tree would just be a twig. And so Monica sees who she believes to be a brother and sister acting rather inappropriately, and it sparks you to say, hey, it's as if we're having cocktails in Appalachia. Or Appalachia. Do you know what? I think the pronunciation of the name is probably not the highest priority for the people of Appalachia / Appalachia. I would say probably trying to quell the rumors of very interpersonal family relationships would be a little bit more of a priority, do you think, than how to actually say the last few syllables of where you're from. Now Monica and Joey have agreed to try to break up this couple and go after them individually.
I'm so sorry. I can't believe I did this. I just couldn't stop laughing at your Norman Mailer story.
Norman Mailer was an American novelist, essayist, and journalist, and he was known for his innovative and often controversial works that explored American society, politics, and personal identity. He wrote scores of books and even won the Pulitzer Prize for fiction, but his non-fiction work also received great acclaim, especially his 1968 book, The Armies of the Night, which was a groundbreaking account of the anti-Vietnam War movement. His style of writing was very distinctive and often provocative, and he would address themes of power and violence and the American dream, and he remained a rather controversial yet prominent figure even in the later stages of his life. And from everything I've just said about him, did you get one whiff that he may have done anything comedic? No. He wasn't really the most light-hearted of individuals. When you think of comedy, you don't think of Norman Mailer. And so, that actually makes it even better for the joke in the scene. Because, as it seems, that guy has told a story about Norman Mailer which was so funny that it caused Monica to spit out her wine. When in actuality, Monica is just flirting to the max. Because even though I'm sure he had a lighter side, I don't think there's any story that involves Norman Mailer that would be that funny for you to have to spit out your wine. So Monica was just finding the opportunity to go, oh, do you know what? This will be the chance. Plah! Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, you're so hunky. I'm so sorry. And I have to say, for me personally, this is one of the instances of explaining a joke where it actually does make the joke even better. Because all this time, I've just thought, oh, there must be some funny joke, some funny story, and Monica's just gone, oh, you know, of course she wasn't actually laughing like that. She wants the opportunity to touch this guy's chest, and that's a very flirtatious way of going about things, of course. But then actually looking into who Norman Mailer was, you go, oh, so it wasn't funny at all. It was probably the driest story that this guy was telling, but she just wanted any opportunity to just turn the flirtation up to the max. Fair play. And that is how you flirt like Monica Geller. And there we go, folks. That was every pop culture reference in Friends Season 1, Episode 5, the one with the East German laundry detergent. And now we've gone through them all, let's see where it sits on the scoreboard. So not that many actually appeared in this episode. I was worried if we were actually going to have any, but we did, and eventually we collected 5 in total, which sits nicely with the fact that it is the 5th episode. And so when we take a look at where that stands in the rankings, Season 1, Episode 5, with 5 references, sits in at 5 or 5th place. So that's 5s all across the board right there. And now we're done with the pop culture references, let's have a look at a little bit of trivia. So Ross's detergent is called Überweiß, and that is German for above white, because that's how strong that detergent is. It is going to make your whites uber white. It is going to make it so white that it's just going to blind you, unless you happen to put a red sock in and then you come out like a pink marshmallow peep. Eep. So we see Angela in this episode, and this can be presumed to be Angela Del Vecchio, who Joey dated for 3 years before the show happened. He also had that little breakfast adventure with her where there were questionable impressions in the butter, if you remember them talking about that scene. It kind of makes sense that it would be, because the way that Joey acts towards her when she enters, like, whoa, and they say like, whoa, breaking up with you does wonders for her. Like, it's obvious that they were together and it wasn't just some sort of fling. There was some lengthy time between them, and there was a 3-year relationship with this Angela Del Vecchio. I do think that they are one of the same. And that's why I keep my butter in the fridge, lest there be any questionable impressions upon it from any sort of breakfast adventures. Now, this particular one has had me thinking for years and years and years, and it's one particular line. I'm just going to play the clip for you right now.
Don't you have a laundry room in your building?
Yes. I do have a laundry room in my building.
And that is a heck of a lot of laughter for a line that isn't actually that funny, but then it got me thinking maybe it is funnier than I realized. You know, like, he's been caught out. Obviously, he's wanting to create a situation where he gets to hang out with Rachel, and Rachel's calling him out on it, and so that is kind of funny. Well, just listen to this bit of trivia. The laughter, which follows Ross saying, yes, there is a laundry in my building, stems from David and Jennifer getting the giggles during the scene, especially after a studio light blew up during a take. So the audience's laughter is actually an artifact of different takes that they had seen before, because obviously in this instance, they managed to get through the scene without the giggles, but the audience are probably just still residually laughing at seeing them with the giggles, seeing them corpsing on stage. And yet all this time it's made me think, oh, maybe there's a deeper level to the joke that I'm just not quite getting, that I'm just, am I really dense to not understand the intricacies of the humor? No, it's just I wasn't there live watching it. And that's my own fault for being 4 years old and born in England. Ugh. And that was all the trivia for this episode, and so now my review on it. It's funny that this comes up at this point, because the last video that I've done on this channel was Season 1, Episode 5 of Gilmore Girls, and in that I talked about how love was a very big theme in it, and it was nice that it was introduced at that point in the series so that you could really enjoy getting to know the main characters and then bringing in different aspects of love for them. And that has kind of happened here as well, because all 6 of the friends are going through different dating things. And this is the only time, or rather the first time, there will be later instances of course, but this is the first time in the series run that all 6 of them have something to do with love. So Joey and Monica are going for Angela Del Vecchio and her boyfriend, and they want to break them up so that they can date them individually. Phoebe and Chandler are going through breakups with Janice and Tony, so that's a whole love thing as well. And then there's Ross and Rachel, and Ross obviously has a crush on Rachel, and they're together, and Chandler's going, you know, it's a date, and Ross is treating it as a date, and they have their first kiss as well, which wasn't actually technically their first kiss. Their first kiss happens like a season later, but there was a kiss between them, and it was the first one, and then Ross knocks himself out by walking into the, which I absolutely love, by the way. That little bit of physical humor I think is absolutely fantastic. It's just pure slapstick, and it's pure brilliance. Well done, David Schwimmer, for that. But there's something really interesting about seeing these different aspects of love, because you get to see different shades and different colors of these main characters that we've grown to know, because we've already seen how they interact with one another, yes, but you only really get to see different facets of a person when they're interacting outside of that comfort zone. And so them talking with other people, talking with other characters, or into new situations that they aren't comfortable with, such as Ross and Rachel. Rachel is trying new things with the laundry. Ross is there potentially on a date with her. And so it's all new. It's all tested. And you get to see some brilliant different colors and different shades. Like Phoebe being so cool and collected with breaking up. Like she makes the breakup with Tony so easy. Then she just makes the breakup with Janice. She breaks up Janice and Chandler on behalf of Chandler. And it's done so easily. Like that cool collectedness is impressive. And then Chandler being so neurotic and in his head and drinking like 1,000,000 espressos is absolutely brilliant because we haven't really seen that manic side of him yet. And so to see that, like his fear of wanting to go through that, that's something that appears later down the line as well. His fears and anxieties that revolve around relationships. This is the first kind of glimpse we have of that. And so that's an interesting character asset as well. And then seeing how manipulative Joey can be because he wants to get back with Angela. She's in a relationship. So he concocts this plan to break up Angela and her boyfriend with Monica there. But he doesn't let Monica know about this plan. Instead says they're brother and sister. And so hoping that he will just get with Angela, Monica will just get with him, and it's done. And it's just like that, rather than any sort of, oh, we were a couple, but now we're not a couple. I mean, whether that's pure genius or pure chaos on behalf of Joey, I'm not entirely sure, but it worked out in the end because, as they say, they ripped them apart and kept the pieces for themselves. Fair enough, a means to an end. And seeing how Monica adapts to that situation of like, yeah, I want to get with this guy, I want a piece of him, and then going, what? I can't believe I'm in this situation, to then go, okay, I can work with this. We can work with this. Oh, your Norman Mailer story. Oh my gosh. It's a side to it that we haven't seen as of yet. And so it is really fascinating to actually get a glimpse of that. But of course, the main story is between Ross and Rachel. I mean, the title of the episode is the East German laundry detergent, so we know where the focus is. It's all to do with that laundry. And the running theme of Rachel's firsts in this more civilian life, the one that she's not used to living, is something which obviously appears again here. But looking back at it in retrospect, they did it really well. The writers did. They handled it really well because, yes, Rachel came from money. Yes, she's been living off her daddy's credit card and all of that type of stuff. And she's never worked before. She's never done her own laundry before, but it's not done in a way that it's like, oh, look, ditzy rich girl can't slum it with us commoners. It's not like that. It's actually done with so much sincerity of, no, she just happened to have grown up rich and somewhat spoiled, and now she wants to learn these things. She's just behind these things. Like, she wants to do the laundry correctly. She's not going, oh gosh, it's not no scene of like, and what, the money goes in here? What is this, a quarter? Like, it's none of that. It's not as ridiculous and highfalutin, over the top as that. But the way that it's approached of, no, she just wants to learn. And so we get to see the everyday life of living in New York through the eyes of Rachel. Because if you aren't from New York, if you don't live that life, like, I've only ever used a laundrette twice in my life. Once was in Los Angeles and the other was in New York. They're the only two times I have ever used a laundrette. And the first time was in New York. And I was like, oh my gosh, as if, and I had no idea what to do. No idea what to do. I felt like Rachel in that moment. So if you're not from New York, or you've come from a background that is different to that of the others within the group, you will be viewing the show of Friends through the eyes of Rachel. She is sort of the non-homegrown audience. And so you can relate to her on many different levels. Yes, it is a victory to do the laundry correctly. Yes, it is a victory to get your first paycheck, as she did in the last episode. There are all these little victories that we are celebrating with her, but she's not removed from us. She's not, oh, because she's, from wealth, it's, oh, we can't relate. No, she just wants to learn. She just wants to get better. And Ross is there to guide her through that. And Ross just wants to be there for her because, he's in love with her. And so seeing those little things when he stands up for her, and then when she stands up for herself, and he's so proud of her, like he is so proud that she got the strength and the courage to be like, no, it's absolutely beautiful. And he is so happy and overjoyed that this woman that he's been in love with for years is becoming the woman that she wants to become. And then, she, gives him a kiss and that knocks him out and everything. It's not really one of those episodes that moves the plot forward. Like, there's not a lot of high stakes in it. There's not a lot of core story moments in it. It's just a couple of incidents amongst the 6 of them in one evening. And yet it definitely adds a lot to them as characters and our appreciation of them as characters and our connection to them as characters as well. Because we've all wanted to be with someone. We've all wanted to not do something like a breakup. We've all adulted for the first time, like the first time you change a valve or whatever. I don't know, I was trying to think of anything adulting then, but you know what I mean. Anytime you do something as an adult, we all have those firsts. We all have those instances. We all have those experiences. And this episode is definitely giving something that at least one thing everyone can relate to. And so, it's a really good episode. And with that profound proclamation, that is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching and being here. And don't forget that the comment section is open down below, so feel free to leave any of your thoughts in there if you so wish. And if you so wish to show that you enjoyed this video, why not leave a little like? And if you so wish to not miss out on any future videos, then why not hit the subscribe button as well? Because any other videos from Friends or any other TV shows, if you hit that subscribe button, they'll pop up in your feed. You won't miss out on them. They'll be there for you to enjoy when they come out. But there we go. I actually need to put some laundry on now. It's not East German laundry detergent. I just have those little pods. They smell delicious, but don't eat them, Scott. Don't eat them. Anyway, I promise I won't eat them. Thank you so much for being here, my friends. Luck and more to you all, and catch you next time.